Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. Today we're going to be painting this Hope Angel design. It was one of the new designs that we released this past Friday. They were all angel themed. And y'all, we have sold several of these designs. I don't know if you guys are all about the angels or what, but we sold a lot of these. And I thought this Hope Angel that you see at the top center would be a really good design to paint today because if you didn't know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a lot of people kind of had that in mind when they saw this design. Also, I plan to add some spackle to our angel's wings to kind of make her look a little bit 3D. And I might add some to the body here, to her like dress. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to add some to the wings. So if you've never used spackle in a project, this is a way that you can kind of create some texture in a painting. So this will be super fun. If you want to grab any of these angel designs, you can find them at shopdoorhangers.com. All of the digital templates are on there as well as the wood blanks. And so this is an 18-inch wood blank that I've got right here. As you can see, it's quite large. And the design is laser etched into the surface. So that makes it super easy to paint. And so we're going to first, we're going to start off by painting our background behind the wings so that we can start doing our spackle on top of that background. Marina says, oh, she's going to be so pretty. I hope so, Marina. I think this is going to be so fun. And this is definitely going to be one where you're going to have to trust the process along the way because I feel like it's going to get kind of hairy doing the spackle. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest with you, because I've only used spackle once or twice before and not in this type of way. So this is a complete experiment and new project for me that I've never done before. But that's how I like to roll around here. I like to just do something brand new just about every time I paint. And I love showing you guys my process. So as I learn how to do this, you guys learn how to do this. So we're going to experiment together. Hey, Jerry. Hi, Holly. Hello, Danelle. We are packing your order out in the shop. I remember gathering it all up. You had a lot of little ornament pieces. So I've been doing some shipping already this morning and yesterday, trying to get caught up on all the orders. All right, so I'm going to pull up a picture real quick and look at our background color. It's going to be kind of a turquoise blue. I'm wondering if it's close enough to this Bahama blue. Bahama blue, I think, might work for the background. And then we might do like a darker blue distress on top of the Bahama blue. Donna, if you'd like to order, I did put the link in the video description, but I'll drop it down here in the comments as well. This will take you directly over to our shop to that wood blank or template, depending on which one you want to buy. The template is digital and you're going to download it and print it off and trace it on the wood yourself. So if you already have an 18-inch wood round, you could just trace the design right on it. If you're able to cut your own piece, you could cut it out, or you could just get the wood blank from us, your choice. All right, so this is the Bahama blue. I'm going to start out just adding this kind of all around this outer edge. Let me find a good flat tip brush here. And we're going to use this to just spread this out. So I am getting it on top of the wings, but keep in mind those wings are going to be painted with the spackle first. And so this kind of has to go behind them. So rather than take the time to go up in between each individual one, this is quicker for me. I'm just going to slap it on here. And this color will show behind those wings. I got too much paint right here, so I'm going to spread some of this around. Bring it up here. And I am going to paint around her little head. And I am using a really large flat tip brush. It's about 1 inch or so. So if you're not comfortable painting around stuff with a large brush, just switch to a smaller one if you're following along with this part. Just keep in mind it is paint, so it will paint over. You know, if you get some in a spot you didn't mean to, or, you know, don't like the way it turned out, you can always just paint over it again. How's everybody doing today? What are y'all up to? Danelle says, I got my resin ornament this morning. Can't wait to work on those and everything else that I ordered. Yes, we've been shipping so many of these. Let me finish painting the background. Then I'll pause and show you. The ornament workshop she's talking about is these right here. So let me know if you ordered one of these. And I want to know if anybody's had the time to paint them yet. I'll show you all of them in just a moment. Let me get the background painted. And while it's drying, I'll show them to you. Because we still do have a few left for those who haven't ordered them yet. I think our quantity is down to about 65 kits left. So we're running low, about to run out. I have a feeling then the next couple of days they'll sell out, and then we won't do any more because we're going to cut off. We're going to cut off doing those so we can focus on getting stuff ready for Black Friday. Okay, I just slapped that on there. Oh, and I forgot this little area behind her head is also going to be the background. So it's kind of under her hair and her neck right there. Okay, let's let that dry. While it's drying, let me show you these if you haven't seen them before. This is our Ornament workshop kit that we are selling. I'll hold them up for TikTok as well. They kind of look like a shadow box, but they also kind of remind me of like a snow globe. So each kit comes with 16 pieces, and you make 4 ornaments out of the 16 pieces. So each ornament is 4 layers. So you've got your background layer, you've got your mountain layer on this one, and then you've got your layer with the sign that says ice rink and the trees, and then the top layer are those little skaters. And so if you want to order this set, you'll get all, I don't know if I showed y'all this one yet or not, you'll get all of the pieces to make all 4 ornaments. The kit is $60, and it comes with a packet of resin. And y'all, if you've never, I don't want to get paint on my shirt. If you've never used resin before, you're in for a treat, because this is the easiest resin project you'll ever do. I'm sending you a resin blister pack. That's what this is called, a blister pack. This little pink thing across the top is kind of like cinching the bag and keeping the 2 chemicals from mixing together before you're ready. So when you open this up, there's like one bag on one side of the pink bar and another bag on the other side of the pink bar. And so when you're ready, I'll show you how to do this all in the video. So you're not gonna have to remember this, but you'll take the little pink bar off, you'll massage the bag, and it allows those 2 chemicals to mix, and you'll sit and massage the bag for 3 minutes. I can't remember. I think that's what it was. So I'll tell you on the video. And then you'll cut the end off the bag, but don't do any of this before you've got your ornament painted and glued together and taped off and ready. So follow the instructions in the tutorial, and then you'll drizzle the resin in the little ornaments, and then you'll let it set overnight or for at least 8 hours. And so definitely, if you have cats or anything, keep them out of the room. If you've never used resin before, you're going to need to make sure and use gloves. I explain all this in the video, but I'm explaining it now to kind of like let you know it's not rocket science, especially with this type of project, because it's already pre-measured for you. You're not going to have to do any measuring. You just have to massage and mix the bag. So this is going to be a super fun, easy winter workshop for you guys to do if you want to make your own. This one's backwards. Make your own ornaments. And I took these with me to a ladies' Christmas party last year, and they were fighting over them because it was an ornament exchange type party. Kelly says, I ordered mine, haven't received them yet. I'm pretty sure yours is sitting on my shipping table with a label on it. So it's probably about to go out, because I remember seeing your name this morning when I was doing orders. Pam says, thank you for making this hanger. My husband's fighting stage 3 cancer. Radiation, chemo are really tough. Oh, I'm so sorry, Pam. You need to paint one of these for him. That would be great. These angels are beautiful. I missed this sale this weekend. I can't wait to order a few. Let's see. Okay, let's get back to our painting right here. Okay, I see Cassie says, do you have a nativity scene available? We do not. We don't celebrate Christmas as the birth of Christ, even though I'm a Christian. We just don't believe that we are commanded to celebrate Christmas as the birth of Christ. We're commanded to remember his death every first day of the week. And so I just choose not to celebrate Christmas as Jesus's birthday, because Jesus wasn't even born in December, to be honest with you. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I kind of feel wrong about selling nativity stuff, because that kind of goes against what I actually believe about Christmas and all that. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, because I am a Christian. I do believe in Jesus. I just don't necessarily believe Jesus was born in December, and I don't believe that the Bible commands for us to celebrate that as his birth. And so we don't celebrate it at Christmas time. We just do Santa and Christmas trees and all the fun stuff. So I don't sell nativity stuff because of that. So if you ever get to wondering why, that's why. And so if y'all have any questions about that, I'd be happy to explain it more and further. If any of y'all want to reach out to me and kind of like dive into it and ask, dig into the actual Bible side of it, I would be happy to help y'all understand that a little bit better. Michelle says, I really love this door hanger. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and my 3-year mark is November 4th. Well, happy 3-year anniversary coming up just a little early, Michelle. I'm happy for you. Tracy says your belief makes sense to anyone else. We are not offended. Thank you guys for understanding my heart. Thank you. Okay, our paint is nearly dry. Let me dry it a little bit more, and I'm going to get a chip brush. That's these little scratchy ones, and we're going to do some distressing on our background before we move on. Now, the background on this is not perfectly painted, but when we do this distressing, it's going to look great, so I'm not worried about it. We also need a slightly darker turquoise. So let me see. I might use this one, Desert Turquoise. Or I could use Open Water is really pretty. That's kind of a blue. And I was looking for Laguna. I thought I had Laguna somewhere. But I don't see it. Maybe it's hanging up here. There it is. Okay, so these are kind of my options for, that looks really like it's separated. Okay, I feel like this looks too green. It's not going to show up, so Laguna's not going to work. This feels too blue, so gut instinct says to go with this Desert Turquoise, which is like a darker version of the Bahama Blue. And we're going to use our little chip brush. So just dip just barely the tip of the bristles in that paint, just a little bit. And if you're afraid you got too much, dab it on a paper towel. But you're just going to kind of scrape onto your door hanger. And you might find that you need more. If you do, just kind of start again, dip in the paint. But I'm just using a real light touch until I see that, like, oh, I don't have a ton of paint on my brush. You know, it's kind of like I'm testing it. And once I've got the right amount, then I'm kind of adding more pressure to get more of that off and onto the background. And we're actually going to go at this. I don't normally do this when I distress, but we're going to go at this from a couple different directions. But I don't like how I smudged that right there. So I'm actually going to do this side, and then I'll come back and go the other direction on the other side. Keep in mind that this is going to be pushed to the background of your design once we start to do these wings. So, you know, right now I'm kind of getting it on top of the wings. That's okay. And you might be a little worried that you got too much in one spot. You don't need to worry about that because it's going to all be pushed to the background in a moment. I'm going to dry it because I don't want to smudge it when I go the opposite direction. That's what I accidentally did right here. Let's see. Olivia. Hey, Olivia. Glad you're here. Tracy loves the Laguna color. I do too. Joanne says, what size is the witch's hat on the welcome board from the live event? 6 inches. It's 6 inches. Any other questions? Hey, Lynn. Or Linda. Sorry. Not Lynn. Let's see. Okay. I think we got it. Well, this side's a little bit wet still. So I'm dipping in the same color this time. And this time I'm going to go the opposite direction because I kind of want this one to be a busy distressing. So the background's going to have it going left to right also. This is why we do all this first, just because it does get all over everything else that you're doing. So you definitely need to do this first. We're kind of painting from the back to the front. So this is the background. I like to kind of go all the way off the edge too to get that sort of scraped look on the edge. All right, you can go as heavy with this or as light as you want. I'm just going to use the excess to kind of get it all off on the edges of my door hanger because I like when the edges look a little dark. And then I'll drop that in my water. So right now it might look a little busy, but this is going to be pushed to the back because the angel is going to come to the front. Hey, Kathy. That's my mother-in-law. Donna says your little quiet dryer faster than a hairdryer. Yes, because this is actually a heat gun. So it puts out a little bit more heat than a hairdryer. Don't use this on your hair. I'm also live on TikTok. So TikTok, I'm live on Facebook and YouTube using my computer. So they have an actual like overhead shot and a front shot. And so if you want to get a better angle or see the other comments that are going on, you can come over and join us on YouTube or Facebook at Southern Ornament Decor. Okay, here's where I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, okay, now it's time to do the spackle in the background. So our angel's wings are kind of white, and then they have little bit of color on top of them. And then the body of the angel is pink. So I don't think I'm going to have to tint my spackle, because you can tint this. You can mix it with paint to give it a color. Charlie and I actually used this to do a fake bake project a while back, and we mixed it with paint and made it look like icing. So it looked just like buttercream icing. So this is what it looks like before it's mixed with anything. It's called Fast and Final Lightweight Spackling. So this stuff feels a little bit like whipped butter or something. I don't know. It's a cool texture. And so since I'm not mixing it with a color, I do want it to stay white. I'm just gonna load it up on here, and I'm not gonna mix it with any paint. If you wanted to mix paint with it, I would scoop some out into a separate container and do a few drops of paint in it and then stir it up. Okay, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I may look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. All I know is I've seen people load it on the back of their palette knives, and this is the palette knife that I'm using. It's like a little trowel with sort of a triangular head. I don't even know if this is the one I need to be using, so bear with me while I figure this out. And I've seen people start at the end of the angel wing and then pull it inward. That didn't work out so well. I'm wondering if I know what I need to do. Okay, let's scrape this off and start over. See, I'm learning, you're learning, we're figuring it out as we go. I had this idea and I wanted to try this, but what I'm realizing is that we need to paint the wings first and then do the texture on top of the wings. That way we don't have to perfectly get the texture in every spot, right? So I'm going to go to a flat tip brush now. Hey, Tina. Glad you're doing this one. Don't forget your behind her head on the left. Behind her head on the left. This my left or your left? I'm not sure where you're talking about, unless you mean like right here. I've got a little bit in there. It's hard to see. All right, so we're going to go with some white paint for the wings, right? Let me look at my picture. Yes, white. And then we're going to do the spackle on top of the white paint. This just makes it a little bit more forgiving. Let me know if y'all have any questions. I'll feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer as we paint. But we're starting out here at the tip of each wing and then just kind of pulling it inward. Marie said, I did this with modeling paste for a 3D Christmas tree. It's fun medium to use. I'm nervous to use it on a door hanger, Marie, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's so different and I haven't tried it, but I think we're going to be geeking out at the end when this turns out super cool. Lauren Martin gave me this idea. She's the one who actually designed this door hanger. She's on my design team. And she said, I have this vision of doing it with texture medium or something to kind of give the wings some texture. And so I think she was kind of hoping that I would be the one to try it out first. So she could just follow my tutorial. So I'm like, all right, I'll be the guinea pig. I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Amber says, I appreciate that you are willing to try new things and learn on lives with us. It makes it easier for me to try new things. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, because I'm, I barely know what I'm doing. I've watched a couple videos, so I feel like I barely have any idea what I'm doing. And a lot of times the mistakes that I make teach you guys what not to do when you go to paint it. And so, I'm just being transparent. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, so don't expect this to turn out perfectly, but we'll all learn something along the way. That's the only thing I can guarantee, is we will all learn from it. Also, these laser etched lines, you can still see them. Oh, yeah, y'all can see them on the video. I wasn't sure if you could or not. You can still see them. So when I'm painting in these wings, I'm not freehanding them. I'm just following the lines that are lasered on here. And I'm really kind of using those lines as a rough guide for where these wings go. I'm not trying super hard to stay inside the lines. I'm kind of just using them as a guide. So when you're painting on one of these, depending on the design that you're doing, if it's something that's super geometrical, you probably do need to stay inside the lines just so that a triangle looks like a triangle and so on. But otherwise, you can kind of just use them as a guide. See, I just went way outside that line right there. But they're there to kind of like prevent you from having to draw it and just kind of give you a rough guide. So feel free to just use it loosely. Don't feel like you're shackled to staying inside those lines. That takes some of the fun out of art if you feel like you have to do something a certain way. Okay, let's take a poll. Most of you who've painted, if you've painted on a door hanger, or even if you've used a template, do you feel like you have to stay perfectly inside the lines, or are they just a guide for you? Because the reason I started doing templates to begin with was because a lot of you guys were like, I want to learn how to paint, but I can't draw, right? And so these templates kind of allow you to skip the drawing step and get straight to the painting step. And so you shouldn't feel like you have to stay perfectly inside of the lines to create something beautiful. Amanda uses them just as a guide. Serena's an inside the line kind of gal. Kenda says just the guide. Michelle says, I'm so anal about it. I hate that about me. Stay perfectly in the line, says Barb. I think it's a personality thing, right? So if you're a perfectionist, you're probably like, yes, ma'am, I'm inside the lines. I will never go outside the lines. And those of us who are not a perfectionist like me are like, yeah, it's just a rough guide. We can do what we want. I'll tell you, it's way more fun on this side of things because we ain't stressing. Christy says, I love all the new angels. I haven't done them as a door hanger yet, but I made a couple of ornaments this weekend. I'm definitely going to try the 3D effect for the wings after watching you do it first. Marie says the spackle is very forgiving. It would be neat to do layers of the feathers too. Ooh, Marie, you're giving me more and more ideas. There is another door hanger. Let me put it up on the screen in case y'all missed it earlier that we released at the bottom there that says, I believe they are among us, based on that song by Alabama. I believe there are angels among us. And there's wings on there. That would be really cool to do this technique with that design, I feel like. So somebody tries it, please send us a picture. Linda said, I used to be inside the lines. Now I just tell myself that I'm the only one who knows what the original looks like. Exactly. Dixie says it depends on the style. Whimsical, not in the lines. If I'm more realistic, I'm inside. I could see that. Carolyn says, I try to be messy, but it never comes out right. Tammy's a paint outside the lines kind of gal. This is so telling about so many of you. Okay, I'm going to dry our wings and do one more coat on them real quick. Donna says, as I've been painting more and becoming more comfortable, I use them mainly as a guide. Sandy says, your blanks are double lined, right? Do you go by the first line or the second line? Okay, so Sandy, our older designs do have double lines because back then we didn't have anybody on our team that knew how to do the single lines. But all of our designs created in like 2022 to now are single lines. See how this one only has single lines? It does not have the double. And it's because we finally found somebody who knows how to do like Adobe Illustrator and to create the single vector lines. And it's much more time consuming and it costs me a lot more that way to have those designs converted for the laser to cut them in single lines. It's not just like one button where you hit and it traces it. It's more technical than that. And so thankfully, a lot of our newer designs do have the single lines now. But if you're asking where to paint to, I just kind of use them loosely as a guide. So I don't paint to the inside or I probably always paint to that outside line just because I like to cover the lines up. So I probably paint to the outside line. Tracy said, I use your templates. If I miss transferring a spot, I fake it till I make it. Girl, I'm just faking it till I make it every day. That's what I'm doing right now. I told y'all. Well, actually, I'm not faking it today because I did admit to you guys that I don't know what I'm doing with this spackle. that we're going to use. If you're just now logging on, we're going to be using this lightweight spackle on our wings, but we have to paint our wings white first. So I was telling everybody at the beginning of the live, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm not really faking it today. I am literally just winging it till I make it, which is appropriate because this has wings on it. So painting a second coat of white on our wings, and then we'll start adding our spackle. Notice I am not painting her body yet because I anticipate that the spackle might also go on the center part so that her whole body is 3D. So we'll do the wings first and we'll pull them toward the middle and then we'll smooth it out afterwards. So don't paint the body of your angel if you're planning to do spackle. Can't decide what's easier, painting around the edge of each wing like that and then filling in the middles. I think that probably is easier than individually painting each one. Feels faster anyway. But I'm kind of putting my paintbrush up on its, what I call its tippy toes. It's a flat tip brush to go around that edge. And then I flatten it out on its whole belly to paint the inside. Hey, Judy. Replays aren't the same. Well, I'm glad you're here, even if it's just for a minute. Joanne says, I love this angel. I bought it already. A lot of you guys have, I've noticed, ordered these as ornaments. So it'll be really cool to see all of these ornaments painted. Please, 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 when you paint these and hang them on your Christmas tree, take a picture, like a close-up picture of them hanging in your tree. I would love to see photos of your ornaments in your Christmas decor, even if it's not on a tree. If it's on something else, maybe you're hanging it on a garland or something else, send us your photos. Post them in the Painters Clubhouse or in our free group. Our free group's called Door Hanger Painting Tips on Facebook. And so you can go post your photos in there. You can also text them to me or email them to us. And you just might be featured on our page as our door hanger of the day. Or maybe, ooh, I've got an idea. If you guys send us enough pictures, we could do an ornament of the day post. That would be fun. You can also post them on Mondays under our Made It Monday post. So yesterday we did one of those posts. And so if you scroll down on my page a little bit, you'll see it. And in the comments, you can post your pictures. Amber says, will the angels be a part of your Black Friday sale? Or can you say? Probably not. I think the things that we're going to put in our Black Friday sale will be like winter themed stuff. Because by the time Black Friday gets here, it might be a little late to paint like Christmas. And so we're thinking about doing the winter type designs in the Black Friday blank sale anyway. Is this available for PC Sisters? Amy, no, the template you would have to go purchase in our shop or the wood blank. It's not one that we gave to the Painters Clubhouse. Hey, Jane. She said, this is shaping up beautifully. I love how you can see her personally being brought to life as you paint it. We're fixing to use spackle. She's going to come to life even more so in a moment. Danelle says, on the gobble turkey, I painted on the inside line. A D used the outside as my black outline borderline. Oh, okay. I used to do that too, Danelle. I would use like my paint pen to kind of like cover that double line. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, Jeannie. Is it Jeannie? Jeannie Moore? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Tell me how to say your name. Write it out phonetically. Okay. I'm trying to get these wings dry so we can start our spackle. Michelle says, can't catch this now, hoping to watch the replay. Well, come back and see me in a little bit, Michelle. When you've got time. Bookmark and save this video. Hey, Mary Ellen. Okay. Y'all ready to do some spackle? By the way, if you don't use all this, make sure and get this lid on real good. Because I had to throw half of a container of it away before I started this live. All right. So to load this up, we're putting it on the back. And you know what? I may use a different shape. I showed y'all that. And then I got to when I was using it, I thought, I feel like it doesn't hold enough, and the end of it isn't shaped right. I've got different ones. Let me see what else I've got. I think this one might work better. See how the end of this one is more fingertip shaped at the end, and it's still not quite wide enough, but I've got this one, but it's almost too wide. I don't know, maybe not, because I feel like I can load more up on that, right? Let's just try it. Let's test it. Maybe we'll switch between them. Okay, we're loading it up on the back. So I'm kind of scraping one direction and then I'm scraping the other direction. And I have no idea if this is a good technique. For those of you who've done this, feel free to share your tips. So that's what it looks like. Let's see how this goes. I'll start with this one. I'm going to press it down to kind of spread out and then pull in. Okay, I don't like that little giblet, so let's put that back in there. I do like how the end of that looks, though. So I think I need some more. Just gather a little bit more and kind of use it to fill in the rest. Because it doesn't matter to me how the inside part looks so much, but I definitely want the tip to look nice and rounded. So to do that, I'm kind of scraping my palette knife on the back and loading it up so that it's got like a hunk. Hold on. My technique is not nailed down yet. I've got more here in the middle, I guess. Okay, I'm going to put it on the end of this one. I'm kind of applying some pressure to scrape it and then just pulling. Ooh, that turned out beautifully. Let me show y'all this up close. Can y'all see? Let me show TikTok. And so this stuff won't dry right away. It'll take a few minutes. So I feel like we can keep shaping and molding it to be what we want it to be. The wider one should work better. Thank you, Tracy. This is so satisfying. Charlie's going to want to do this. Charlie loves anything like messy like this, especially if it's like satisfyingly messy. She's going to want to do this. She's going to see it. She's like, ooh, can I make one, Mama? Which, by the way, if you have not heard, girlfriend has started herself a YouTube channel. Charlie is now on YouTube. So she now has 200 subscribers and feels like she's world famous. She has 2 videos up. So if you haven't seen the latest video, this past Sunday, she and Uncle Corey did some cooking and making tacos on the Blackstone. And she got out there and helped him. And they made a little video. And it's only about 5 minutes long, but it's pretty cute. So it'll help you get to know Uncle Corey as well as her. Y'all, this is looking so good. I'm getting so excited. Look at the texture. Look, look, look. Oh, hang on. Can YouTube? Yeah, YouTube, or not YouTube. TikTok can see it. So if you haven't followed Charlie, here, I'll drop Charlie's YouTube link in the comments real quick, because I know somebody's going to go, what's the link? YouTube.com/@ Charlie's Clubhouse. That's her YouTube channel. My daughter's 8 years old. She's in the 3rd grade. And this is her first YouTube channel. And she feels super famous now that she's got herself a YouTube channel. It's kind of been fun teaching her how to do it. And just, I don't know. It's something for us to do together. That's what I like about it so far. But she's dying to make a slime video. And I'm like, oh, I hate slime. It's so messy. As I sit here and play with spackle, I'll say things like that. What do y'all think so far? Donna says she's going to be taking over your job by the time she's 18. That's the plan, Donna. 10 more years and I can retire. No, I'm just kidding. I can't hardly see myself fully retiring. I could see myself letting her take the front seat and me like stepping back a bit and just kind of supporting her as she grows into it. But I love what I do so much. I have a hard time visualizing retirement. So y'all got me locked in for quite a while. Y'all, this stuff is so forgiving. Marie was right. I don't know if you're still on here, Marie, but is this looking good? Is this meeting your approval? Marie seemed to know what I was talking about. Okay, you guys are liking it? Good. Any questions? This is super forgiving. So if you're intimidated to try this, like I was when we started, don't be. This is way easier than I thought it'd be. And you can get this stuff at Walmart. It's called Fast and Final Lightweight Spackle. Add it to your Walmart pickup list. I think they probably also have it at Lowe's and places like that. But you know, us moms and grandmas, we're always at Walmart. That's where the groceries come from. It's super forgiving. Like, I feel like if you mess it up, you can literally just scrape it right off with the back side of your little trowel and try again. And I'm just kind of like molding it to fit in the edge of that wing and then just pulling the excess inward. One side is done. What do you think? Oh my goodness. This is going to be my new favorite thing, y'all. I say that every time I try something new, I feel like, but this is so cool. You know what this would be really cool on also? If you're not into angels, this would make some pretty cool looking snow. If you wanted to create like realistic looking snow drifts, kind of like we do when we use snow text. But I kind of like the texture of this stuff a little better even than snow text. So just keep it from getting on her hair. We're not putting it on her hair. How fast does it dry? I don't know. I'm hoping not too fast because I'm still working on it here. But it says approximately 24 hours. We got to paint on this in a few minutes. It's going to dry faster than that. I'm hoping with a heat gun, we can speed that up. So, I don't know. I'll test it for you and let you know in a moment. I thought about spackling this in advance before I went live. And then I'm like, no, that's no fun because then y'all can't see what I'm doing. But I thought if I spackle it in advance, then you'll be able to see what it looks like dry and see me paint on it. But you know what? You can mix paint with this stuff. So we might just paint on top of it anyway with it wet and then let it dry. We'll see. I'm in love with this texture though. And look, we haven't even used that much. It doesn't take much. This is so cool. I'm continually impressed with each little piece of the wing that I do and how fun this is. And, you know, people ask me, Tamara, how are you not tired of doing door hangers? Like, don't you get tired of just painting door hangers? This is why I don't get tired of it. I discover new techniques like this all the time and try new things that I've never done before. And it keeps this craft new, fresh, and interesting to me all the time. If I was only painting on door hangers and only adding paint, I might get a little bored of it occasionally, but there's always some new technique to try, new paint to test out, or even just a new template that kind of gets me excited about it all over again. Been doing this for 9 years this coming February. So I'm roughly at 9 3/4 right now, or 8 3/4 right now. And I'm not bored yet. So there's always more to learn and more to do. Sandy said a tiny bit of gold glitter or shading would be cute. I do plan to add some gold. Do plan to. Cassie says, I need those mums behind you. Let me take this down for a second so y'all can see it. We painted this one in the Painters Clubhouse yesterday. So if you're a Clubhouse member, there are actually 2 tutorials for this door hanger in the Painters Clubhouse. One is this one that I did yesterday, and I did it in yellow. And the other one is one that has kind of like pinkish red blooms. And so if you want to learn how to paint this one, go join the Painters Clubhouse at paintersclubhouse.com. The template and wood blank for that one is available in our shop too. Laura says, I love it. Can't wait to see how someone does the angel banners wings. I think it'll be beautiful. Okay, Pam says, Cindy Manley, Cindy's one of my friends, says it cracks if you use a dryer since it only dries the top layer. Good to know. We might have to just paint on top of it or make this a 2-parter and finish it later. We will see. We'll see how well it paints on top of. If it doesn't paint well on top of it, then we may have to finish it at another time. Like I may have to go live sometime tomorrow and finish it. Okay. Got all the wings covered. Now I'm kind of like, do I want some on the dress or no? I can probably just scrape, use a different one, and get whatever little texture I had on the dress off. I've seen people do texture on the dress before when they're doing an angel. Like if they're doing like a wood block angel. Oh, I just realized y'all can't even see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. And so I just scraped the texture off of her where it got onto her body, because I also was nervous about doing texture if I've got a word down here covering her up. All right, so to clean this up, I'm going to get all of it off the edges so we don't have any overlap. And then close this up really nice and tight. Push till it clicks. It makes it next to impossible to reopen it next time without one of those little paint thingies, but you want it nice and tight so that you can use it again later. All right, let's let that dry. And we're going to move on to painting her body. Sherry says, I love the look. Jean says, I didn't think about mixing it with paint. I totally forgot to see how you phonetically spelled your name earlier. Sorry. Oh, like Genie in a bottle. I can remember that. I scrolled back up to see what she said. She said, my ideas are running wild now. Good. Sheila says it would be pretty with stickles rubbed on it. Ooh, y'all know I love some stickles. Okay, so how about this? How about we finish painting her body, and then I come back and go live at another time, probably tomorrow sometime, tomorrow afternoon, and I finish it live then. Does that sound good? Okay, let me look at the picture real quick. The angel has brown hair. The body is pink. Let's do the pink, but while I think about what color to paint her hair. I'm like, do I want to do brown hair? Because nobody in our family really has brown hair. I'm going to use cactus flower for her dress. It's a really soft sort of pink color. I really like it. I might mix in a little bit of a white too or something to kind of give it a little bit of variety so it's not a flat color. Does the texture make the door hanger heavy? Not at all, because this is lightweight spackle. So the kind that I bought is called lightweight spackle. Says it right so on the can. So it's like really fluffy and light. Feel free to just paint right over those words that say hope, because you'll be able to see them through the paint, and you'll be able to paint them later. Saves you a little bit of trouble. What color do you guys like to use for skin tones? I feel like I always have to make my own or mix my own. I never can seem to like find one that feels like an authentic skin color and doesn't feel like too peach, you know? I wonder if it's this. I don't paint like darker skin tones very often, but I wonder if it's just as hard to do darker skin tones. You love how this is turning out. Me too, Jacqueline. All right, I'm going to dip in a little bit of, well, I thought I had some white over there. I've used it up. Can you seal over the spackle? I would assume so. I would assume so. Can't say I've tried it. I'm dipping a little bit of white too. I'm going to kind of just spread some white in here. Kind of go up and down with it. Kind of give her a little bit of a slightly shaded look so she doesn't look so flat color. A little bit up here. There we go. I like that a lot. Amy has sealed it before. Okay, good to know. Lisa always has to mix for skin tones. Jean says Mississippi mud, add white or black to it. Okay. Donna says I have a flesh that I mix with sugared peach. Sugared peach is what I have. So a lot of times that's what I end up using. Where is it? Because it's kind of, it's not too peachy. You know, it's kind of like just a warm beige. And then I usually add a touch of pink to kind of give the cheeks like a rosy look. Sheila says I've used it when we did ice cream sodas a couple years ago. It was the whipped cream on top. Okay. You did. Oh, you're saying you used the spackle for the whipped cream. I like that idea too. Make like a cup. Whoop, I just stuck my finger in it. Make like a cupcake design or a whipped topping. Does Decor have a color called flesh? I've never even noticed. Okay, this is the sugared peach. Paint her little face. I think I probably will stick with the brown hair because I think it's a good contrast to the other colors on this door hanger. You know what I mean? Like I feel like blonde wouldn't contrast enough for me with the colors I'm using. Okay, I'm going to dip my brush. I don't even have any pink in here because I squirted it directly out. Get just a teeny bit of this cactus flower pink on the corner of my brush, and I'm going to give her a little bit more of a pink cheek. Just real light. Blend it while it's still wet. There we go. It's real subtle. You can hardly see it. Hey, Robin. She said, I just came in late. Love the wings. Thank you. We're going to finish this project tomorrow. So we're painting everything except for finishing up the wings because the wings have to dry before we can paint them. So we'll come back tomorrow and do it. Thank you, Ray. I am in love with it. I mean, really, you could leave the wings just like this if you wanted just white wings. But I'm going to add just a little bit of like something to them. Thank you. Make her a ginger angel. That would be pretty too. Okay. Let's see. Let me go look at my sample photo here. The example was like a real dark brunette. I think I'm going to use this color. It's called Milk Chocolate. It's kind of a really warm brown. We'll see how this looks. Can you say the name of the color of the face? It is Sugared Peach. Sugared Peach. Holly says, I'm just hopping on. How did you do the wings? It is Lightweight Spackle. Whoops. From Walmart. Fast and Final is the brand. Or DAP is the brand. I don't know. What was I doing? We're doing hair. I was like, what color did I just put in here? I can remember. So this is the milk chocolate color. We could give her some blonde highlights. Did y'all see where I cut Charlie's hair this past weekend? I cut like 6 inches off of her hair, and suddenly she looks 10 years old instead of 8 years old. I'm like, what did I do? I love it though. It's super cute and it's way easier to fix. Like I make her a ponytail every morning before she goes to school. And it didn't take me 2 seconds to brush her hair this morning because I didn't have to fight through the rats that were in the bottom of her hair. And she's like, why is it always so tangly? I said, well, honey, that hair down there at the bottom of your ponytail is hair that you've probably had since you were 4 years old. I said, you know, baby hair, it tangles really easily as it's been on your head a long time. In other words, like it's lost some of its integrity, if you will. And she's like, oh, she couldn't even imagine that she'd had that hair that long. I'm like, it was time. It needed to be cut. I think she likes it too, though. She wears it down more often, I've noticed. And she kind of like flips it around on her head. I think she feels kind of sassy with it. Swimmer hair. Oh, thank you, Carol. You like her haircut? Sheila says you could use the edge of your spackle knife to cut where her hair falls to give a clean edge. Yes. So yeah, I kind of did that, I think, as I painted. This hair, I think, naturally fell behind. Let me look at my picture. No, it didn't. Whoops. You're right. Hold up. I don't know if it matters, but you know, like this is where the hair fell behind. So I can cut in, is what she's saying. If you accidentally put spackle, it's already drying, guys. Yeah, if you accidentally put spackle in an area you didn't want it, just use your palette knife to kind of scrape it away and cut in. Even after it's almost dry, I'm kind of able to do that. So just carve it out right there. That was supposed to be hair. I don't think it would have mattered. I still could have put the hair behind it, you know, so. But that was a good learning moment that you can do that if you need to. Okay. Like, where else do we need to touch up? I think I want to add just a little something. Let me get this dark chocolate and maybe do like a little streak or something. I feel like it looks too flat now that we've got other colors running through other things. So I'm adding a little bit of dark chocolate to just kind of give it a little bit of depth. Blending the two together here. Add a little bit to her bun. There we go. I don't know if y'all can see the variation in the color. I can now. There we go. Okay, and then the little halo thing or bun is, oh, there's a halo that's on here. It's just not laser etched on here. So I may have to like paint the bun or the little thing on the bun first. Let me use a round tip brush for this. And I may do it in an off-white, kind of like a light buttermilk. And then we'll do the halo around her head. I guess I was thinking at first this was the halo, but if I look back at my picture, the halo kind of goes around, but it's not lasered on there, or it's not lasered on the door hanger. So the halo was kind of a yellow, like gold. We'll use sunset gold. Thank you. She's getting highlights and lowlights. Exactly. And I'm just going to use my little round tip brush. I'm rinsing it out. And I'm just going to draw her. I'm going to freehand draw her a halo. It's going to start on this side of her head. It's going to go across her bun. And then it's going to connect like right about here. So if you need to kind of like make yourself a little bit of a guide, you can draw it with pencil or chalk, or you can just do like a rough sketch like I'm doing. I'm kind of like roughly sketching it on there. And then I'm going to just drag my brush around. Don't know how rounded that looked, but and then I'm going to add a little bit of the buttermilk or white to it to kind of lighten it up too, because I feel like that color is not covering very good. So by streaking a little bit of the buttermilk through it, it kind of makes it where I don't have to do 6 coats of yellow. That looks pretty good. Good enough. Okay, this is not dry at all. I thought it was going to be, but it must have just been dry on that very first one that I did, because I started with that one, and that one's feeling a little bit more dry, especially around the edges. It's like crispy feeling. Let's go ahead and paint her eyes, because I feel like she needs a face, and then we're going to stop and we'll finish the rest of it like tomorrow. I need some black. I don't have black. Thank you. Yes, Cindy, you can come back and watch the replay whenever you want. It'll be right here on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching on TikTok, you can catch the entire replay for this project on my YouTube channel. You can get the template to this project if you want to trace it on your own wood round or cut out your own wood shape on at shopdoorhangers.com. And you can get the wood blank for this if you want to just do your own and have us send you one in our shop at shopdoorhangers.com also. You know what? We could go ahead and do the lettering. I thought, well, I might have to wait till later to do that, but I bet I'll just wait because there might be some glitter or something that I want to add, and the lettering is always the last thing you need to do. So I don't need to jump ahead. All right, so here is the end of part 1. Come back for part 2 tomorrow. We will finish up her wings and add some final details and stuff to her. So just to remind you what this one looks like painted, I'm popping a picture up on the screen. At the top middle, you can see that her wings have some color in them. And so you could either do white wings like what I've got here, or you could add color. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and see about adding some color. I wonder if watercolor would look good on top of this. I don't know. I'm going to think about it, maybe test some things out, and then come back and finish it up tomorrow with you guys. So I'll see you again next time. If you want to get notified when I go live tomorrow, just shoot me an email. I mean, not an email, sorry, a text here, and I'll text you tomorrow when I'm getting ready to go live. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you today. Have a great